G'day and welcome back to the shed. My mate Stacey just dropped this Radiogram chassis over to me. Well, not just the chassis, he's brought over the speakers and also the record changer, all of which will need a bit of attention, but it looks pretty good. It's a model 324R, his master's voice, and just looking at it, a lot of chords here. This will be aerial and earth, I suppose. Yep. Neat little chassis, very small. I suppose 1950s, they were getting pretty small by that time. Let's have a look. That's just a pilot light. I don't know. Must attach to the chassis somewhere. To the cabinet somewhere, I mean. I didn't want him to bring the cabinet because I don't have much room in here, and running short of room already. Got a reasonable, decent cord on it. 3-pin plug. Right, so let's have a look underneath, see what we've got. Okay, we've got one big electrolytic there. It looks like a dual one. It's got 2 wires coming out of it. Looks healthy enough. It doesn't look like it's been losing its guts anywhere. We've got another electrolytic there. I don't know what these capacitors are. It looks like it's had some work done on it. It's got some caps replaced here. There's a green cap, there's a mustard cap under there, little red one there. So it's had some attention. I'm not sure if these are original or not. Okay, well, it doesn't look too bad. I'm tempted to just fire this up and see what happens, see if it goes bang. Yeah. Let's see what we can do with it. Stacey also brought over the speaker, which doesn't look too bad. It's got a tear right across it here though, which is pretty awful. Now that plane's gone over. Yeah, it's got a bad tear across the cone here. Looks pretty awful, but I said I'd see what I can do with it. If not, he's going to try and get it reconed. So I'll have a go at that. Maybe if I can just stitch it with some dots of super glue and put some liquid electrical tape around the edge. It moves okay. Might be able to save this. Alright, well look, I'm going to hook this up to the dim bulb and see how we go with it. We've got speaker wires here. It has 2 speakers. No crossover or anything attached, so they probably just work together. Even a basic crossover would possibly improve things. I presume the white wire's the aerial. Let's just have a look. Yep, the black one goes to ground, the white one goes to the coil here, so that'll be the aerial. I might just hook an aerial up to it. Ever hopeful? Never know. It might just work. Stacey said that he hasn't had it working. He's restored the cabinet. He's probably pretty good with cabinet restoring because he does sewing machines, and I met him by selling him an old sewing machine I had sitting around. And he mentioned at the time, as often happens, that he had a radiogram that wanted looking at, so here we are. Anyway, so we've got an aerial on it. I'll plug it into dim bulb, and yep, we have dial lights. You probably can't see them. dim bulb is brightened up and it's dimmed off. Now it's starting to brighten up again as the valves start to conduct. It's probably out of shot. Yeah, it is, never mind, I'll have to take my word for it. Not terribly bright, so I don't think there's anything drastically wrong with this. Not hearing anything. I'll try putting it, is that on medium wave? Not hearing anything. Maybe it's just not getting enough power. Well, that dim bulb looks okay, just a faint glow in it. So I'm going to go off dim bulb onto full power and see what happens. Whoa! Okay.
Fair enough too, I think.
And I tend to
Well, there you go.
Well, they don't get caned on their backside.
You were chasing them in very much a ping manner.
It's a very ping thing. So a little bamboo cane to keep them on their way.
Thank you for all your calls. Appreciate it. Johnny Nichols in the 6BR newsroom is waiting for the news. John, thank you. Rapidly, many plants couldn't operate fully because of sleep.
Well, it works. That's a good start. Fairly noisy reception. I wouldn't say it's wonderful, but it's going. All right. Well, I think we'll give this a good clean up. I noticed the tuning was very, very stiff, and the tuning capacitor is actually rocking backwards and forwards as you try to tune it. So that'll be a start. I'll take the tubes out. I don't even know what they are yet, so we'll have a look. He also brought me this Butte box of valves which he had lying around, and I suspect it's a spare set for this. I'll just see what we've got here. And right on top there I can see a 12AX7. I could probably use that somewhere else anyway. We've got, what's this, 6V4? I have no idea if these are good, of course, but a 6AN7. We've got a 6N8 here, a 6M5, and another 6M5. So yeah, it looks very used, but that doesn't necessarily indicate there's nothing wrong with it. It's yeah, now that's good. I'll no doubt find a use for those, perhaps even in this set, I'm not sure. Alright, well, let's get it cleaned up and see what we can do with it. We'll start with the tuning capacitor. Just give it a bit of a spray. And try and get the little wipers that run on the, it is unplugged, yeah, run on the rotor. Still feels stiff. There's something, I'm not sure if it's the dial cord or one of the pulleys. I'll try, I don't want to get oil on the pulleys. Just lift this off here. That one's alright. Just give me a little squirt. Cotton bud. The dial string's actually in good nick. Feels solid, but there's a lot of stiffness in the system. There we go. How about this one here? Oh, that's stiff. I don't know if you can see that. This little pulley here is totally corroded. Solid. So that won't be helping it much. I'll just take the string off there and free that up. Righto, so we'll take the string off this one. Just try and lift it off without damaging it. There we go. Stay put. Yeah, that doesn't move at all. That is solid. I'll try a little bit of inox on that. Cloth behind it. See if I can free it up a little bit. Yeah, it's turning. Yep, that's good. Okay, and just wipe any excess off that. I'd say this this radiogram hasn't been used in a very long time, but that said, it's actually not too bad. What happened there? I think it just came off, I hope. Ah, yeah, it came off this pulley. It is still quite stiff. There's possibly something else holding it up too, I think. Oh, I see why I had the strings crossed over. This string goes on the inside run. Comes off there. I just found this other pulley underneath here is also seized solid, so I'm just going to lift the dial cord off him. Hopefully not losing the end of it. It'll just sit there, and I'll give it the similar treatment, bit of a dose of inox. And see if that'll free it up. Yep, it just came loose, just like that. Get the excess inox off it, because it's quite oily stuff this. You don't want it getting on the string if you can help it. Now the fun part, see if we can get the string back over. That attaches to the cursor there. Oh, easy. Easy. Okay. Where's the tuning? Not doing anything now, it's slipping. What have I done? That goes, yeah, something's come loose. I'll just turn it over and have a look. What's on there? It's come off the drum. Alright, so that's that one there, that pulley there we've freed up. There's no others on top. That one there and this one here. So it should now run through fairly easily. Still making not grinding noises, but a bit of a scrape. That might be the cursor itself, I think. Not sure. In any case, it works a lot better than it did. Looks like that wire there is just fouling the rotor as it comes down there. Yep, that's working well enough now. Alright, let's just see what tubes we have in it, and I guess I'll clean up the sockets while I'm at it, give the chassis a bit of a clean up, and then we'll look at what capacitors need changing. Let's see what we have here. It doesn't want to let go. So, no numbers, 6BA6 I guess. I think probably the next thing I'll do is I'll get a schematic for this. Although it's working and I can probably just replace the caps, I would kind of like to have a look at the schematic just out of interest and see what's what. Okay, I'll just go through the rest of them. I'll clean them up, clean the sockets and put them back. Just going to go over the valve socket with a pixter and some clean and lube. Okay, so just coming to this tube here, don't know what it is, it's 6M5, yep, but look at that socket, that's just, the output transformer has oozed tarry muck all over it. The underside looks disgusting. Which suggests that the output transformer's been getting pretty hot. I'll have to have a look at why that's been happening. A couple of obvious causes spring to mind, like the grid capacitors. But we'll have a look anyway in a minute. I'll just get it cleaned up first, and then we'll see what our B plus voltage is, and if it's too low, it's being pulled down by something. This, in any case, yeah, I'll dig into that a little bit later. But what a mess. I'm just using a bit of steel wool soaked in starter fluid to clean up the pins of this 6M5. They're a bit of a mess. I don't usually do this with valves, but this one has got so much tar and stuff from that output transformer on it. It does suggest we do have a problem. But we'll get to that. It does clean them up. One thing about starter fluid, Start Your Bastard or Aerosol or Aerostart or whatever. It does a good job of cleaning up tar and stuff like that, and also the general gunge that gets on chassis. Yeah, that should be alright. I've also taken out the 6x4 rectifier tube. I don't want to clean it too much, I'll take the lettering off, but I'll give it a bit of a wipe. Just gently down there. It's a Mullard. The rest of the tubes have been mini watt, so maybe this is a replacement. I haven't got the schematic yet, so I presume it's the correct rectifier for it. Just gently. Yep. Alright, now let's see what we can do with this mess. I don't want to wash too much of it down into the socket, so I'll try wiping it with a tissue damp with starter fluid, and try and wipe some of it off the surface to start with. Certainly made a mess. Transformer looks good, no sign of overheating or anything there. It looks fine. Could be that output tranny was just going short itself. I don't know. Hope not. I haven't got an immediate replacement for it. I might have. I'll dig around some of the old chassis I've got there. But we don't know yet. I should have probably checked it for shorts and whatever before I powered the set up. I was getting a little bit overconfident there, but it worked, so yeah. Right, now that socket's gonna have that muck all through it, so I'm gonna give it a good soaking. Here's my pick stir again, and give it a good clean out with that. There we go. Yep, it's messy down there. Now, because this socket was such a mess, I'm going to turn it upside down and spray it with starting fluid from the underside. Try and wash the mess back through it. And I can see in there, I don't know if you can see it, it's got muck all over it, tar and stuff. And I sprayed back through it that way. And hopefully that will clean it up a bit and wash out any stuff that's in the sockets. And just go through it now with the pixter from the other side. I've been through it several times already. But in this case you don't often get one that's this messy. I'm surprised that it still actually operated, but it did. Sometimes get the feeling working on these old radios that they actually have a will to work, and all you've got to do is give them a chance. I have to get the schematic but this capacitor goes from a pin on here to a pin on there. I mean, I'm only guessing that could be the screen. Oh, sorry, the grid. I'll get the schematic and have a look at what's where, but there is something not right. Okay, so I've cleaned that up as best I can. I put the tubes back in it. So we've got a 6x4 rectifier, 6M5 on the output. We've got a 6AV6, a 6BA6 and a 6BE6. So that might help to identify it. I'm going to go and have a look and see if I can pull up a schematic for it. If I can't, well, I'll do the best I can with that one. But I'm tempted to just fire it up now and just see if there's any difference to its performance or if anything goes bang. Okay, so I've got it hooked up to the speaker again. I've got a meter attached to the plate of the 6M5 pin 7. I'm just about to put it on dim bulb and apply some power. So on with the switch, the dim bulb's lighting up, dimming off, and pretty soon we should have some voltage. We've got 4 volts at the moment. 6, 9, it's coming up. 250, 249, 250.
Level 2, 720. It's up 64 points to 7,765. I was just thinking, that little promo that ends with a...
That sounds terrible.
At some point in the future, a kid will listen to that and go, well, what's that noise?
Of course it is on dim bulb.
Mining and all shops let the customers...
Dim bulb is glowing softly. I don't think there's any major faults in it, so I'm going to go to full power.
plan to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Hopefully there are no surprises with that kind of announcement in the future. The mining giant has promised to achieve net zero emissions in its operations, including steel mills and shipping companies by 2050.
That sounds better.
In commodities, gold trading at $1,858 US an ounce. Oil is at $82.
257 looks alright, I guess.
$93.63 a tonne. 1 Aussie dollar is buying 73 US cents, 63.7 euro cents and 54 Great British pence.
ABC Perth weather.
Now we'll have a full statewide forecast with the Bureau after 5:30. Presumably Noel Pusey will do me that favour. Hope he's working this afternoon. He's been very sharp.
Okay, so I'm not seeing any signs of distress. Not immediately anyway. I'll still have a good look at the caps. That 6M5 has got awfully hot. The output transformer isn't getting hot, but I only had it on for a minute. I can't imagine that the ooze from that transformer is old and someone's just replaced some caps and the problem's gone away, because I don't know of any tech, no matter how bad, who would leave that mess in a valve and just change a couple of caps. So I think I'm going to have to track down what's causing it, but it's working. It sounds pretty good, so so far so good. Just taking the knobs off and the dial off. The dial appears to be plastic, so that's a good thing. Usually the printing on these is pretty good, but I notice this knob has got a chunk missing out of it. That's the one on the tuning. I don't know what I can do to fix that up, but it was held on there okay, so maybe it'll be alright. Don't know. I'll just see what I can do with it. These knobs are a bit of a push fit, and it's a little bit scary taking them off. At least I presume they're all a push fit. Yep, no grub screws to be seen, so yep, just gently taking off the tone knob. Gently, he says. Yep, there we go, that one's good. Volume coming off alright, no damage, that's good. Even the old felts are intact, which is good, because hard to get ones like that now. Can get felts of course, but there we go. and the felt in that one is a bit moth-eaten, but the knob's intact. Now it looks like we have an outer screw on this holding the dial plate on, so I'll have to try and loosen that up and get that off. Okay, so I've got the trusty 5/8 ring spanner, which seems to be the right size, and that's, yep, that's good. I'll try the other side. And it just fits on the rim of that nut. There we go. Yep. I don't think we'll need it now. That's going to come off. Very good. I thought that might be a battle, but it came easily. Okay, so the one on the left has a washer, the one on the right doesn't. Oh yeah, it's stuck to the glass. Alright. Okay, we'll take that inside, give it a good clean up, and that should come up well. Just looking at the dial backing plate here, that needs some work. I don't know if that's because of the inox I sprayed on these nuts to loosen them, but either way it's going to have to be repainted. It appears to be held on by these tabs here, which this plate's spot welded on, so you can't move that. I guess you just push it upwards. Oh no, that folds over there. I think you must have to bend these tabs back and pull it downwards. I can move the cursor aside, so that's alright. Next job, we'll do that. Actually, I'll do it now. I'll need to bend these tabs back. There we go. And that should just pull downwards, at least in theory. Yep. Okay, so I'll just move the dial string out of the way. Let's hang up there. Yep, there we go. Do you look how clean that is underneath? It's obviously corroded a bit. We'll give it a bit of a clean up while we're at it. Okay, so while I'm waiting for paint and other things to dry, I thought I'd have a look at these capacitors, and looking at the 6M5 is the base of him here, and the grid is on pin 2. Yep, 1, 2, there he is, and there's a 50k resistor attached to that according to the circuit. Yellow, I guess that's violet and orange, so it's going to be a 47k. All that crap stuck to it. So I'll just check it for starters and see how close it is to spec. Set the meter up for ohms, and we'll have a look at him. $54.3. Look, I think that's close enough. It's supposed to be 50. It's a little bit over, but not enough, I don't think, to cause any issues, so we'll leave that one alone. And that then goes to this unused pin 9 on the 6M5, and then to this capacitor here, which I presume is to the plate on the 6AV6. I'll just check that. The plate on the 6AV6 is pin 7. Where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, correct. Alright, so look, I'll change that anyway. I don't know what sort of capacitor it is. It says 0.033 and the circuit says 0.022 or 0.02. I don't suppose it'll make a big difference, but I might just put a 0.033 in it. What it says is polyester and a cap. It's probably not original, I don't know, and being polyester is probably perfectly alright, but look, I'm going to change it anyway just for the sake of it. I don't like the look of that output transformer, and that's potentially a cause, I guess. Alright, so let's get to that. Right. Actually, I probably should take the tubes out before I do this. I don't know if it hurts them or not, but I always do take the tubes out before I solder the bases. You never know what harm it might do. Alright, tubes are out. Just lift it straight out, that's easy. Let's see if I can get him out of here. I wonder if I can get him through that hole. No, I'm not going to go easily. Alright, I'll just cut him a little bit short, and alright, here we go. That was pretty solid. One, two, three, four, five, six. Yep, that's the right one. Leave enough room to change this electrolytic. It's only 50 volt. It's on the cathode, so I'd hasn't been under a lot of stress, but nevertheless it's an old electrolytic, and I kind of like to change old electrolytics just as a matter of principle. I figure they've got a limited life, a limited service life, and if they're near the end of it, you change them. Okay, now I've managed not to have the value pointing up on that. That's unfortunate. I like to try and have them pointing up. Yeah, oh, that'll do. So I've got a 25 UF 50 volt. This one's only rated at 40, even though it's 10 times the size. So I'll just swap that over. Let's see if I can get in there. Yeah. I'm just going to clip that, and I'll use a pigtail. Oops, sorry about that, on the camera. Now remember which end was positive. That goes to the cathode there. That's the negative so this end goes to the cathode. Okay, I'll put a little pigtail on the end of that. I'll probably have to take off that plastic sleeve, cut it a bit short, and put it back on. Just cut a bit off him, about that. And the other one we want to end. Ooh. Okay, I'll put a pigtail on him from about there. Alright. Now, negative, negative, positive, positive. Yep, right. Okay, don't want to make that mistake again. Just put that one on there. There we go. Whatever it was. Okay. I guess now we just place this on here. There we go. Bit of a blob, but it's making good contact. It's all right. Not being too pedantic about this one. The main thing is to get it reliable and serviceable, and that's going to do the trick for us. So, all right. The next thing is these electrolytics, and I'll just snip him out. They're both 25, so it doesn't matter which way around I get it. And I'll just cut the negative off there. And there he is. Possibly quite alright. There was no hum in it or anything. Ducon. But I think for safety's sake we changed them anyway. I've got a couple of 25 UF caps here. Oddly, they're a different size. They're both 24, 600 volts, both the same brand, Mayak, so I don't know why they're a different size, but anyway, we'll put them in and go from there. A bit of starting fluid on this, seems to do as good a job as any. And on these. I'll leave the ground in case I need to move it for the other one. Okay, well, that'll do. I'll put this one on here and I'm putting that end on first. There we go. nothing else I really want to do under here. It's all pretty good. Might just fire it up again, see if it goes bang, but other than that, I think we're in business. Okay, so tubes are back in. I've hooked the meter up to the plate of the 6M5 again, so I'll just set that to 500. We'll plug him in on dim bulb because I've probably done something horrible. Hit it with some power, and nothing happening there. There we go. 260 it says. It's a little bit higher than it was before, which is good. 255. What the? Oh, I've got it on short wave.
The Trans-Siberian. The Trans-Siberian, you know, and it's the granddaddy of all train journeys because I think it's 9 or 10 time zones. It's about 10,000, 11,000 kilometres. I would recommend one little tip. The variation is to go from Beijing through through Mongolia, and then you join.
That's sounding okay, I guess. It's only got one of the two speakers hooked up, so the speaker impedance is probably off. 264 volts, and the voltage table on the service manual says should be 200 and where are we? 6M5, 270 on the plate of the 6M5. We've got 265. I think that's pretty good. So yeah, I think we'll leave it at that. What I might do is just leave it running for a little while and see if anything cooks, but I can't see any radical problems here, so I'll just let it run for a while.
Very cheap prices. They'll cart their goods all the way across Mongolia, and as soon as the train crosses...
Short wave seems to work alright too. China, of course. China seems to be all over the shortwave band these days. And while I'm doing that, I've just been working on the speaker a bit. I taped it together while I stitched it with a couple of spots of super glue, and I'm going to try and seal this tear here up with liquid electrical tape, which is always a good standby for speaker repairs. So let's just see what I can do with that. One good thing about this stuff is that it stays flexible, and so you can put it on the suspension surround without fear of messing up the speaker's movement. It's got a little bit hard in the tube. There we go, that's better. Ugh, hang on. Now it's going everywhere, of course. There's a bit of damage here, but I'll need to get that into position from behind before I do that. So I'm going to let these dry first and then I'll work on that one. Well, it's the next morning and the paint on this dial plate should be dry now, so I'll just put that back on. Here we are, and it's looking pretty good. Just pull the masking tape off the back here. Yeah, it's fine. I did clean this up a bit. It's still a bit grotty, but that's the best I could do with it without going to a lot of trouble. Now, this folds over there. And just slides back in. He says, oh, there we go. Yep. And we'll just turn those tabs over again. There we go. Okay. Now dial cursor just sits on there. I'll put a little bit of grease on that. Okay, just a little bit of white lithium grease on the slider here. There. The dial came up well. Right way up would be good. So, I think these went on the bottom. And I'll clean them up before I put them back on. Okay, so they're cleaned up now. I'll leave them loose while I put the top part on, so I can just move it around if I need to. Presses against the glass there. That runs through okay. I have to clean out the grooves in the knob a bit, but that's come up pretty good. There we go.
To 702.
Nightlife with Philip Clark on ABC Radio. Tomorrow's news tonight.
Yes, a glance around the newsrooms to find out what.
Well, as you can see, it's working very nicely. I have just finished working on the turntable as well, but that's going to have to wait for part 2 because we're already running over time and there was quite a lot involved in the record changer. So that's it for part 1, and I do hope you've enjoyed watching. I've had fun doing this, and I will have part 2 up very soon.